it's Orange Pico here. For today's video, I wanted to go over my drawing process and thought process for this illustration here. This is an illustration done on 11 by 17 Bristol paper and done with ink. And just some black Sakura Pigma black markers. But yeah, I wanted to go over just kind of what inspired me to draw this and how it started at the beginning and how it ended up from here to here. But yeah, this drawing has about 7 layers, but not 7 complete layers. But you'll see it in a second. So I started off with this. What inspired me to do this sketch was I listened to this song called "Hit in the USA" by the Beat Crusaders. They're a J-rock band, and I don't know, I really enjoy the song, and after listening to it a bunch of times, I really just wanted to draw someone with a rock star punky vibe. Editing Orange Pico here, I also wanted to mention that Hit in the USA is also the opening to a really cool anime called Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, and I highly recommend that as well. I do also find the anime was quite inspiring, but I was really attached to the song, and that was what I just kind of kept playing in my head and actually looping on my speakers as I drew. They're not a punk band, but they're more a J-rock band, but I just kind of had that idea in my head. And then just two things. Sometimes things just kind of pop into my brain. So two things that I really wanted to draw on this person with this rock vibe were the pom-pom hat and pom-pom hat and cowboy boots. So I was okay, no matter what I draw, I really want this person to have pom-pom hat, cowboy boots. And then initially I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll have some ducks in the background. I don't know where the ducks came from. They just kind of popped into my head, but they didn't make it to the end. And then I wanted to do some stars. And initially, because I guess I was thinking of the rocker vibe, maybe a traveling, obviously you do tours and shows. It's okay, I'll have a trunk and put all the cool stickers on it. But this only lasted for this sketch. I mainly just everything was more attached to the person, his hat and cowboy boots, and his pose. I don't know why I wanted to do him holding the pom pom, but he made it all the way to the end, and obviously his face just looks a bit different. So from here, the main thing I changed was that I wanted to do another person. I was okay, I don't really like the trunk look. I think it looks more balanced having a second rock star, a second cool person in there. I guess what I thought about for this person was that they definitely had long hair, but I was wanting to put it in a bun at first and a tie. So that's kind of all I had for the second person. And I was okay, at this point, I'm I don't want the ducks anymore. I kind of blocked off space for the stars, and I was okay, maybe I'll do flowers. But I knew by the second sketch that I wanted to do a second person. And what I usually do for my sketches, when I do the layers, I just do the light box that you might have seen in my last video. And yeah, I just kind of go over it until I'm satisfied with all the sketches, and then I go right into my final version that you see here. So yeah, when I show you each sketch, it's just every time I put it on the light box, I put a new paper, and then I kind of improve or change things that I want to bring to the final version. So from here, the next two sketches, I think the next two, are just kind of refining the second person. So here I just kind of went in just to see the contours and how the muscles and just kind of the outline of the body. At this point, I still had his hair in a bun, as you can see. It ends up being a ponytail because I think I mentioned in the last video I just like guys with ponytails. So I should have known that it would never would have stayed bun. It was going to turn into a cool ponytail. But yeah, so I just kind of refined the body a bit, and then I went ahead in the third, I think, and fourth. On the fourth one, I just kind of kept the hand placement because I obviously wanted them together here, and I just kind of refined what I was thinking for the outfit. This one, I guess, was more like a boyish outfit, like, but I wanted this one to be more feminine glam kind of outfit, if that makes sense, like more flowy, more patterns. As I mentioned, I started off with a tie. I knew I wanted him to wear a tie for some reason. And then I wanted like a flowy jacket and like cool pants and like black shoes. But at this point, it wasn't a heel. It was just kind of a shoe. But I like that it ended up being a heel as well. In the next one, I think it's where you can kind of see that it looks a lot like the final. This guy, his jawline, it changes a lot throughout, and I think it really does change. It really does change his look. So I'm glad I softened it up a bit, but for the most part, like he stayed the same throughout. I just ended up adding some arm warmers, and for the flower, I was like, okay, like I did kind of want to put a flower in, and I ended up putting it in the cowboy boots. Initially, I was going to do some writing. Um, I did have some writing in the next sketch as well, but I think in the final, it just didn't look. I think I need to work on my calligraphy and on my writing, but I know that's something like I could also do digitally, like if I were to scan this and add writing, that's possible. But I kind of want to I want to get better at it, like by hand. At this point, I just wanted to refine the background a bit more. Obviously, like I did fix up the frills. I really wanted to like look at my placement of the stars here. Stars, I want like a cluster in the middle, and then small clusters on the outside, and then just a few big stars. The final sketch before I went in with ink was this one. I try to make my final sketch as detailed as possible. Like all my sketch, like I'll take as many sketches as I need to do with my light box so that I can get to whatever's closest to what I want to do in the final. Just because in my final, I like just putting on like songs or shows and just kind of going on autopilot. And I know like where I need to draw, and I'm not thinking too much about like where the lines go. So I feel like, yes, this does take a long time, but it's okay because I just like, I really enjoy the process of just kind of like zoning out and just getting this all done and just doing the line art and the hatching. Sometimes, like as you can see, obviously, like I didn't hatch on this side. It depends. Like sometimes I will do a lot of like plan my hatching out, but sometimes I'll just kind of again zone out. It depends on how I feel. Like I feel like for me, hatching is kind of like an emotional state. Like I'm like in the zone, I'm in it, or I feel like maybe I'm feeling like anxious that day and I'm like, okay, I need to know, I need to map it out, I need a preparation. So in this case I was feeling like good. I was like, okay, like I kinda know like in my head like what I want to do. I feel it, like I just plan out like the light sources and just kind of go around that. But yeah, so I tried to be as detailed as I could here. I did like use a ruler and everything here as like for the bigger stars just to make sure they were kind of like the right proportions. I honestly wish I had like star stencils. I think that would have been a good idea, but it was fine. It ended up working out. And I do like how all the stars turned out. I just had to like use my ruler a bunch of times. But yeah, from here we made it to here. And obviously I did have to use my ruler here again just because I wanted like crispy lines. I wanted the stars to look as good as possible. And then I just colored in anything black with the background pigment markers. I like drafting ink. And for this one, a I use my regular Tachikawa nib holder that I normally use, and I used a Mario nib this time. That's the one that's like super tiny and like round, and you can get really thin lines. So I did like it kind of depends on the mood that you want to create. For this one, I did kind of want to create. I think because it was like the star background, I wanted something a bit. I don't know if it makes sense, a bit like dreamier. And I do find when you use the Mario nib, because you get like such small lines, like I don't know how to explain it. Like to me, it does look a bit dreamier, whereas like the G pen looks a lot more dramatic and impactful. Impactful in a more like oomph way, but like the Mario pen is more impactful in like a whoosh way, if that makes sense at all. But yeah, for this one, I did use the Mario, which makes like the super thin lines. And yeah, this is how it turned out. I was really happy with the hatching, like for the details for the jacket, like the shadow lines, and for the arm warmers. I really like hatching denim. I'm not a super experienced thing artist, but there are things that like I'm learning to like more and more and things I want to do more. And something I've discovered that I really like is hatching denim. So I do kind of want to do that more. It's very fun. It's very like freeing, I find. For the jacket, I kind of did a lighter denim-ish kind of style hatching that I did here, but I kind of wanted it to be more like patterned out, if that makes sense, like section, whereas this is more like cohesive. Um, I didn't think that I would color the pants in all black, but I did end up liking how that turned out, as well as like just doing a solid black with the tie. Even the shirt on the inside, I was gonna leave it plain, but I do like how the checkered came out as well. Something I do want to get better at is hatching leather, or I guess looking at leather more and or maybe examples of patch leather to kind of give it a more leathery look. Because I want to be spring on cowboy boots, and I don't think it comes across, but the boot does come across with the flowers on it, and I do like how it looks in the end. I just think as a personal goal and personal improvement, I do want to observe leather some more and kind of get better at hatching that. But yeah, this was the final result. I did have to white out the uh, initial writing, and I put a big star over it, but that's okay. Like I feel like even if you make mistakes, they are mistakes, but it's kind of how you turn it into something that you enjoy and that you like the way it came out and you're happy with that. So even though I had the initial idea of having some writing, I do like how I turned it around and I'm very happy with the just starry, like galactic rock kind of look. And even though this kind of stemmed from like a J Rock song, in my head, I think with the stars and everything and with the text that I wanted to do, I kind of like thought of these two as like I don't know, two time travelers. And I don't know what they're doing in their time traveling journeys, but and they're having fun and it's an adventure. So yeah, this was kind of my thought process and my drawing process for this illustration here. It all started with a J Rock song that I really like, and you should check it out. Again, it's called In the USA by the Beat Crusaders. And the Beat Crusaders have some other really good songs as well. So if you check out that song, I enjoyed the song. It was like a big inspiration for this illustration here. And I hope you liked hearing about my drawing process and my thoughts and how I usually go about things. And yeah, I hope to see you. I hope to see you. I'm a very tongue-tied person, and that's something I really need to work on. But I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.